India has spent decades as the world's pharmacy, cheap, reliable, and generic. Every few years, a company tries to change that. Recently, one succeeded. Glenmark spent 25 years in building ISB 2001, a tri-specific antibody now partnered with AbbVie. It's the crown jewel of its IGI pipeline. Simply put, if ISB 2001 succeeds, it could reposition Glenmark, and by extension Indian pharma, as a genuine originator of global oncology drugs rather than just a low-cost manufacturer. Is this the moment an Indian company finally breaks into the top table of global biotech innovation? ET's pharma editor Vikas Dandekar and Rica Bhattacharyya put that and more questions to Glenmark chairman and managing director Glen Saldanha. It's Friday, the 24th of July. I'm Anirban Chaudhary. This is the Morning Brief.
So, firstly, thank you very much, and
Sure.
really I've been wanting to meet you, so thank you so much. To start with, your long bet on innovation has paid off, and there have been a lot of critics, but still you believed in it, you invested in it, you showed your patience. Then came ISB 2001, and now there's a platform that we are talking about, 2301. If you would like to tell us about what is the road ahead.
So, the Glenmark innovation journey has been a long one, right? We've been at it now for almost 25, 26 years. We've started with small molecules. Then we got into biologics. We worked on monoclonal antibodies. We partnered our first monoclonal with Sanofi back in 2012, I think, right? Which was a alpha to beta 1 integrin. That didn't go through. Then we built the BEAT platform, and we kept improvising the BEAT platform over the years. Then we took all that and spun it out into IGI, right, in 2019. And the BEAT platform, right, was initially conceptualized to be a bispecific platform, and then over time we kept improvising it, and today we have a truly world-class multi-specific platform, right? It's taken us over 15 years to develop this technology, but we think we are unique world over, right? Basically, what this does now, the multi-specific platform that we have, right? It's a plug-and-play technology. So you're able to put in multiple binders, right, on the antibody platform, right? Which can perform different activities, right? The platform is very stable, basically. It's very stable. The half-life is established. The various parameters, right, are well established. So it puts us in a very unique position, right, world over, right, where we can constantly keep leveraging this technology into coming up with more and more products, right, in a very short time frame. ISB 2001 was the first asset that came out of IGI, the tri-specific antibody, right, which was engaging T cells, right, which is doing exceedingly well, right, in the clinics, right. So that continues to progress very well. We have now 2301 entering the clinics. In that, for the first time globally, right, someone has tried to engage both work on T cell activation, right, and engage NK cells, right. Is very unique. Most companies, if you see worldwide, right, either are focused on T cells. So you have a lot of T cell engagers, you have T cell activators like Keytruda, Optivo, all of them are T cell therapy, right? You have a bunch of NK cells who have been out there, people who've worked on NK cells, but nobody has tried to harness the entire immune system of the body, right? NK cells are your natural killer cells, and T cells, you have a T lymphocytes and all that. We are pulling both. So it makes it a very powerful product, right? With both T cell activity and NK cell activity, along with 3 tumor antigens, right? So it's unique worldwide, right? Nobody's ever tried something like this. So I think that makes us super excited, right? And we've got good data in preclinicals, good safety data in non-human primates to demonstrate the safety profile, to demonstrate efficacy. So we're pretty excited about 2301 going into the clinics at this point. right? And that could really change the landscape in oncology, basically, between 2301 and 2302 put together, right? These drugs are very powerful products. And then, of course, we have a tri-specific, another T-cell engager, another tri-specific, which is 2501,
Right.
which will come into the clinics in the next 2 or 3 years, which again is super exciting, actually.
So it's a kind of a floodgates are just
So now,
opening.
exactly, because now we are continuously leveraging the technology, right? We spent 15 years on establishing a platform, right, which is truly world class. And now I think the next 5 years, you'll see a lot of products coming out of this platform, right? Which we think can be very valuable in oncology, right? All through different tumor types, right? Between solid tumors, between hematological cancers, right? With 2001 being the front runner. So we are leveraging the technology, right, to come up with a host of what we call as next generation products.
Right, right. So you mentioned in some of your presentations about a repeatable innovation engine and the evolution of Beat platform into something like a immune orchestration platform. How does that move as part of your core R&D in the way you have mentioned about one IND each starting from FY27? Does that really mean that it's like a half a dozen QCs?
So I think the way to think about this is, every product that we are developing, right, is next gen, okay, right? So clearly next gen being either tri-specific, multi-specific, targeting multiple sites, targeting different modalities, right, in oncology, right? So we don't do run-of-the-mill products anymore, right? So it's all next gen globally, right? So I think the journey for us is one where we've already stated publicly that we'll file one IND every year. So starting with 2301 this year, followed by 2302 next year, followed by 2501 the following year, and so on and so forth, right? So that will continue our journey, right, through IGI, right? So that development, right, is all about how can we continue to leverage the technology, right, and the platform.
Right.
So you'll see an asset coming every year, but the key is how differentiated it is, right? Because I don't want you to think of this as a commitment that we're going to do one IND every year. So, we're just going to push anything.
Right.
Okay. We don't do that, right? Yeah. So this is a long planned journey, right? In terms of how we will develop our assets and the pipeline and how it will evolve.
Right. So any updates on 2001? How has it been seen by the partners?
So I think it's been great. 2001 continues to progress very well. I think both AbbVie and us are super excited about the progress of the asset, but it's doing well in the clinics right now.
So, China has become the world's largest source of oncology licensing deals. What is your views that can India realistically compete? Where are we?
So I think, look, China is, they've done phenomenal work, right? Over the last 20, 25 years, they've really evolved as a powerhouse in innovation, right? Obviously, India has a long journey ahead of us, right? To be able to reach that level, right? Of doing world-class innovation, which can put us at the world stage, right? So, but I think, there's a lot of excitement in recent times, right? With the government circles and many VCs, trying to look at innovation in India and trying to see what else can be done after the recent successes of our deal and a couple of other recent successes. I think there's a lot of excitement. So I'm hoping that excitement and enthusiasm will drive Indian companies to make more investments in innovation and take more bets, right? To be able to be successful.
So you've been among the front runners in ADCs. So on that, you have massive global rights, and that is exactly the flow that we see from global companies. I wanted to ask, how did you identify that as your next partnership? Because that's exactly what American companies are doing.
See, Glenmark, as you know, we have the rights to ISB 2001, right? For India and all emerging markets, right? AbbVie has North America, Europe, Japan, and China, right? The rest, EM rights are with us. Right. So we have a great platform that we've built, commercialization platform in oncology, derm, and respiratory in India and all EMs. So we automatically become a partner of choice, right? Because of our front end platform that we built out, right? And that's the reason why we were able to get these partnerships with various companies, right? And even today, we always have ongoing discussions to do more partnerships, right, around to build the platform. Right. And so far, we were able to identify these three assets, right? So Trastuzumab, which is a HER2 ADC, which will compete with Enhertu, right?
Exactly. A huge drug.
Huge drug, right? So we are super excited about that partnership with Hengrui, and so we are running Hengrui has about 5 or 6 phase 3s already done, right? So pretty large database, right, of patients in various indications, right? They've done a couple of phase 3s in breast cancer. They've got CRC, colorectal cancer. Then we are running a joint PROC trial, right? Platinum-resistant ovarian cancer. So there are about 5 or 6 phase 3s, right, that Hengrui has already conducted, right? And the plan now is how can we get to market and how can we commercialize the HER2 ADC.
In China, they have the approval.
They have approval in China. They already commercialized for multiple tumor types, right? Multiple tumor types. So we've started the filing registration process. We think in FY28, we'll start commercializing the HER2 ADC in many of our markets, right? 28 and 29.
Right. So with all of this actually happening from 2 billion, where do you think Glenmark will go? Just a bit of blue sky.
Because I wouldn't give a number out there. My focus is more to do things which can transform the company, right? As opposed to having a revenue target, right? Exactly. Because ultimately, if you really are, if we think over the next decade, right? If we are able to transform the company into being, we're bringing all these innovative assets, right? First, starting with Omlotinib this year, towards the end of this year. Then you got Trastuzumab. Then you got, along with, you got Envafolimab launching. Yeah. Then you got ISB 2001, which will come through. Yeah. And then subsequent assets, right, coming out of IGI. In 10 years, you can actually be, powerhouse, right? In definitely world over, right? In oncology, and then along with that, several other indications, the derm and respiratory work that we're doing. That's what we are. That's our journey, Vikas, right?
So I remember a couple of years ago when we spoke, you had mentioned that 25% of your revenues you want from innovative by FY25. But Realtris itself, I think, is 300 million now and still growing pretty strongly. So I think that target has been done.
I think we are on that journey, Vikas. I don't want to get into the specific numbers, but Realtris is a major product for us, right? And in the short run, will be a phenomenal product world over.
$300 million.
So in the next few years, we'll be at about $300 million, right?
Yeah.
So it's a short time. We crossed about 100 last year. This year, the brand's growing at about 40-50% right now.
That's the beauty of innovative.
Yeah. So that was our first truly innovative product on the market, right? So in the next, 2, 3, 4 years, we'll cross that 300 million mark.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of, as you mentioned somewhere, about building the next Glenmark.
Absolutely. This is the next gen for us, what we call as Glenmark 3.0. Yeah. We are in a very different space, and our ambitions are very different now, right? And the way we are building the next 5 to 10 years is all about how can we continue to be innovative in these 3 areas that we've defined for ourselves, right? Derm, respiratory, and oncology, right?
So what is the next Glenmark, as you said, going to be in terms of branded generics, oncology innovation, and platform?
So our journey is, so we have a number of branded generics. We have a number of generics in some markets, right? But the goal is how can we actually launch more innovative-led products, right, in these three areas that we operate, right, and grow that. And, Ryaltris was the first, right, out of the stable and are doing really well, right. Followed in dermatology, we have Winlevi, which we licensed for Europe and for South Africa, which we are launching. And we're continuing to look how we can build dermatology. And then oncology with amlotinib launching this year, right, which we licensed from Hansoh. And then, and we did a great deal with B1, right, for Tivembra and Brukenza for the India rights, which we're commercializing, which is already over 100 crores in the first year of launch, actually, so very strong launch, right, both these assets. And Brukenza, both these assets continue to do exceedingly well, right. So that was our first truly innovative oncology launch in India, followed by amlotinib this year, which is a third generation EGFR, which competes with Tagrisso, which is a big product for AZ, right? So that's a big launch for us. And then followed by Trastuzumab, which comes up next year, right? So that's the build out, right? So the 3.0 journey is all about how can we move up the value chain into being more innovative led, right? Alongside with continuing to maintain or grow our generics business, right, in the US and certain places, right? So that's the way we are building the Glenmark 3.0 journey, playing at both ends of the spectrum, right? Playing at the cost and the affordable side of the business through a generic franchise and playing at the high-end innovation, right? Bringing truly transformational assets to patients, right, to help save lives, basically. And really make an impact, right? Oncology, as you know, is a terminal disease, right? So there, whatever we can do to help patients, right, I think that can be truly transformational.
So India still remains one of your strongest businesses, and how do you balance introducing differentiated therapies in a highly price sensitive market as far as affordability is concerned? After years and years of investment that you've put into innovation?
India will change, right? I think India is going through its own changes. And you're seeing increasing amounts of companies now licensing assets from Chinese companies, looking to bring more access to patients, right, for better products, right? So that journey will continue for India. I think India will be an important market. And there are some, I believe that over the next 5 to 10 years, there will be some structural changes where the government will get more involved in reimbursing expensive medicines and those kind of things, right, which will help patients to afford much better medications, So I think India will go through its own journey as over the next 5 to 10 years, which will be more patient-centric, I think. But but again, as I said, for me, innovation is a global game. It's not about India or any one specific market, right? You have to develop drugs for the world, right? Because patients all over the world should benefit from them, right? And that's the way we've always looked at the way we do innovation, right? So we're not into tropical diseases or looking at those kind of things, right? We don't do orphan indications, niche, I shouldn't say orphan indications, more like, niche indications, right?
Yeah.
So rare diseases, those kind of things. I mean, we've stayed away. Our goal is to bring product across the world in the frontline therapies, right, of derm, resp, oncology to patients globally, right?
Right. Yeah. So there is an emergence of CAR-Ts also, and companies are actually combining CAR-Ts with some of those high-end multispecifics. Keytruda also some companies are doing. So do you think that probably will be the next stage where Glenmark can also check CAR-T combined with its multispecific antibody?
So CAR-T is a completely different technology, Vikas. So far, we've not done anything in cell therapy, right? So we've stayed away from cell therapy. As I said, for us, our primary focus has been multi-specific antibodies, right? And that's all we do, right? And through IGI, right? again, CAR-T is an equally exciting area, right? Right, and lots of work going on globally in the CAR-T space, right? Lots of big acquisitions, and so it's an equally exciting area. But we've kind of so far we've not done anything in the CAR-T space. Most of our focus is multi-specifics, right?
Right.
And obviously, look, it's a it's a resource situation also, right? I mean, big pharma can afford to take many more bets, right, across different modalities. For a company at our size, we have to stay focused on one modality and maximize it, right, as opposed to a broad basing.
Spreading too thin.
Exactly.
Right. Okay. No, so alluding to the point about partnering with Chinese companies, so you have a combined power of speedy research, which Chinese have been doing very quick on the go, and then you have companies like yours, where you actually have the top of the line research pipeline. Do you think this is the initial indications of the innovation order changing? Because we don't see a lot of action happening from the US companies so far as research is concerned, in terms of, going ahead of Chinese. So the Chinese and the Indian companies, you've already done so many deals.
No, because I don't agree with that, actually, to be honest with you. The Americans are still way ahead, okay? I would still put the US ahead of the rest of the world, right? I would put China as a close second aspirant, right, to the Americans. The Americans are they are way ahead. Right?
If they can't, then they buy out. So
if they can't, they buy out. Exactly. If they can't compete, they will go and acquire some assets or do some partnerships and all. Exactly. But in terms of their basic research, they've done this for decades, right? I mean, hundreds of years, right? And their abilities are phenomenal. I mean, in every area. I mean, look at AI, for example, right? I mean, the amount of work that they're doing in that space, right? So I think the Americans are way ahead, right? But the Chinese are up there as a number two, right? India has a long way to go. That's all I can say, right? On the innovations spectrum, I mean, there's a lot of new initiatives happening, a lot of current enthusiasm, right? Which will help us, evolve, right? But we have quite a journey ahead of us.
The latest PCSK9 oral from Merck is another different end of breakthrough.
Fantastic.
You don't have any plans to move ahead of, apart from what you do, the three areas?
So we've built very deep expertise in these three areas, right? And that's why we are working in these three areas, right? I mean, three is also a lot, if you ask me. You may think three is too little, but actually three is a lot if you play the game globally and you play it end-to-end. It's a lot. Most biotechs have one area, maybe even a subsection of one area.
Deeper and deeper into it.
Exactly. So that's the thing.
Right. I remember one of the points that you mentioned was about you're not sure how long your exclusivity will last, especially when the pipeline is actually so full of assets across countries. Do you think that kind of gives you sleepless nights because there are better molecules coming? I mean, we see a spate of compounds, one better than the other. You see bispecifics, you did trispecific, then you did pentaspecific, and you don't know what is coming next. Do you think that kind of poses some kind of an uncertainty?
I think today it definitely reduces the period of exclusivity for everyone across the industry, right? It's not a Glenmark specific thing, but all innovative companies, right, will be going through the same challenges, right? How do they maintain their franchises, keep their franchises? Because research, the number of assets coming through, right, getting commercialized and moving through the clinics is so fast, right? It's going to be harder for companies to hold on to their franchises, right? The innovative companies. Yeah. So that's the way things will progress.
Yeah. So from the Indian company's point of view, I think you've kind of reached at a very different level. I don't see any, company actually modeling itself in such a hardcore research way. Is that something that will keep, getting deeper and deeper? Do you think other companies will be able to catch that?
I hope people are, again, I'm not tracking what else is going on, right, very closely. But I mean, I know some of the the recent successes. But I hope companies will continue to invest, right, more and more into innovation, because at the end of the day, that's what will transform not just the company but the country as a whole, right? If we are able to put up innovative assets on the world stage, that can change the landscape for India.
Right.
So far, India, as you know, is the pharmacy of the world, and we've done phenomenally on generics, low-cost medicines. But to make that transformation to being innovative-led, right, will take a lot of hard work and effort.
How does AI figure in all this? Just recently, Mankind did a deal with a company called De Novo Sciences.
Right.
Yeah, in terms of identifying optimization.
AI in the whole innovation space will play a very important role, right? I think in the short run, it will be more helping the speed aspect, right? Improving the efficiencies, the speed of actually bringing candidates, looking at them, screening them. I think the human element will still be very important, right? Given the knowledge base and everything in the short run. But I think as AI starts learning and starts evolving, right, you'll see more and more use of AI in the whole innovation space. So it's an important tool, right, to have if you want to be innovative.
Right. So the larger companies like Lilly, they have a deal with NVIDIA. How do you see Glenmark position in that? Does it require that kind of this is a large investment for?
Exactly. So big pharma has those pockets, right? Deep pockets where they can afford to take these bets, right? And do a lot of transformational work, right? Obviously, we are not there. And I don't think, we will ever get to a point where we'll be doing so much in AI, right? AI we will use as an enabler, as a tool to accelerate some of the things that we're doing. But we are a long way off from where some of the big pharmas are, right, with regards to their AI interventions and innovation.
One more thing is that you were just talking about that the innovation mindset that which Indian companies need to have to make those big strides that perhaps countries like China have done. So in your innovation journey, sir, and we all know about it, what is it that kept you going?
No, I mean, obviously Vikas knows this very well. He's tracked us for 25 plus years. So he's seen all the ups and downs, highs and lows, the amount of badgering that we've taken, right, from investors, from multiple areas, right. But see, I was fortunate. I had a stint in the US, right, where I got my MBA there. I worked for Eli Lilly in Indianapolis, then went to PricewaterhouseCoopers, worked with Big Pharma. I had a great learning journey, right, very early on in my career, right. And that made me believe that innovation is the way to go. And then, of course, if you see the Glenmark journey, in the initial part, we had a lot of successes. Okay, we did multiple deals, right? 2004, 2005, 6, 7, 8. So we had that mindset very early on in my journey with Glenmark and as a company, right? We had a tough period, right? 2010 to 2025, we had lots of failure, lots of ups and downs. We invested in a phase 2B for one of our assets. The data came in inferior to the other two compounds. We couldn't license it out. So lots of highs and lows, right, through the journey. And of course, investors at every point were questioning why we were doing what we were doing and whether it made sense to keep investing, right? Or why not, we have a good India business, we have good other business, why not just grow those businesses? But I think all throughout, we knew that this is the journey we wanted to be in, right? And we knew that someday this will pay off.
Just a nostalgia, when this IPO happened, companies were doing a lot of IPOs, and I think Glenmark was about 60 crore.
Yeah.
Most companies, people were saying, analysts, this is a candid company. Discovery research, it's not our thing.
Yeah.
And from that time to here, it's like unreal.
It's unreal.
Very unreal. Yeah.
It's unreal, but hard work. There's no substitute for hard work and taking a lot of knocks, right? Lot of knocks.
And that must have been absolutely...
Lot of knocks.
How do you see the revenue composition changing from the NCEs going forward?
I mean, the next 5 to 10 years, clearly, I mean, we think that transition will happen, right, to becoming more innovative-led, right? And, with almost 70% of our business being innovative, right, over the next maybe about 5-6 years.
I think that change will come.
Yeah, that change is coming. And,
in case you have these couple of your products in the commercial and, very strong going so far, I think that is going to see a leapfrog.
yeah, I mean, 2001 will change the landscape. Okay? The launch of 2001 will really propel the company, right, to a completely different level.
Yeah.
Right. Until then, we will continue to build the innovation platform and continue to launch several of these innovative products, right, which we've partnered from the Chinese players, Rialtris. All these will continue to give us the scale, right, required in innovation.
On that note, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks, Vikas. Thanks, Richa. Good seeing you.
That's it for today. You were listening to this episode on The Morning Brief. It was produced by me, sound designed by Amrit Reggie. Keep listening to our podcasts on your favorite platforms. Stay tuned.